Well, hello, folks, and hello, everybody. I am Joe the Devin Vlogs man. And I also want to say, by the way, is that something interesting that I never got to see right here was a tie. For once, by the way, that nobody won, which, I don't know, the Raiders versus Seahawks, which I have to say, bro, that is interesting. Not only that is interesting, but I never get to see that happen right there. Seriously, imagine how crazy that was right there between a tie. A tie with a 23 and 23. That is that is interesting for the first time ever in history. That is so interesting that I never get to see this in history. Even though this is just my first time ever since exactly just to take a look on it and just, I don't know, just got to see what I had to see right there. But man, that is so, frankly, the most interesting thing I've completely had ever seen before. And I mean, sincerely, I've just never seen before for the first time actually, just to see a tie game. That is Raiders and Seahawks at the same time for both tying for 23. No way. I mean, even if it is the preseason, I completely again understand it's the preseasons, which they've already started, which I think the only fact I ever will say is just that, man, who never saw this coming by seeing this happening right there for a 23 and a 23. That's wild to me that I've never seen anything like a 23 like that. Which I have to say, the Raiders are pretty cool in my book. I think they're pretty cool. I think they're legit pretty cool, exactly, which I think they're awesome, which I probably will give a guaranteed bit of interesting. So, as it from both sides generously about both sides by seeing who completely tried to win here, I think it was Seahawks. Seahawks got nearly a bigger win than Raiders did. After what I actually did witness saw that on the scoreboard, I actually saw was oh, finally, something Seahawks was just about to succeed on. But I guess we had to just unfortunately just see a tie instead with no winner since I don't know how that was happening, but this is the first time in history I've never seen anything like this for a tie since forever in 2025. Literally, 2025. For the first time ever that we're in the big 2025s now by seeing a big major shock, by seeing a tie. Just a tie. Without, I mean, basically, they've always tried to score a win over than the other team. Let's just say, for example, by saying is oh, one person has to make a punt of the kick exactly or block it by actually finishing a big finish, which that probably would end the tie actually a bit more, I guess. But I think, to be positively honest, this just really went on a tie for exactly for no reason. Straight reason for no complete reason for seeing a tie for Raiders and Seahawks being at a major tie, which is just wild. That I'll say this to everyone. That is just wild. If anybody's ever went to see a game by seeing is oh, there's a tie on the scoreboard. Well, there's a tie on the scoreboard that, for the first time ever, I've never got to see before. And imagine if the Texans would have gotten the same thing as the Seahawks would have done, which I'm not sure if Texans would have gotten that next one, but unfortunately, still not exactly. But this is just me saying that, oh, I've never seen a tie before by literally in history, even if it's NFL or whatever. But hey, I guess that makes sense now since we're all going to see something very shockingly different, or pretty much every time's a shock, or somewhere that's going to probably happen. But I'm wow, that's something that I'll guarantee myself for that. That is something I've never seen before, and highly again never seen before for a big tie like that. So if I have to say this question is by saying is however who did better, it was Seahawks. Because I mean, why did they got better? I mean, they tried literally doing so well before Raiders tried to cut them up exactly just to keep catching them up all the way up there until they got to neck exactly until that last second was off. After the fourth quarter was done, then it automatically went to a tie, and I'm oh God, holy moly. That's how my reaction was. I was holy God, moly. It just happened. Like, that's just pretty much what I would want to say exactly. That's just crazy since this is just like my first time ever experiencing this exactly for the first time. Even if it's a sport history that is NFL, then yes, it's crazy, and I'll admit that it's pretty wild to see. Like I said, it's going to be in my only question book on the bingo card by saying it's like every time's going to be a shock all the time. That's just going to be a shock. It's either going to be a good or not so much. But like I said, crazy. And I'm just talking about like the capital C is just crazy by seeing a tie like that. So I don't know why, but I guess this is just a new thing for now, except for me just to kind of understand that tie thing going on. But like I said, wild. It is just wild and it's crazy. And I'll say this to everybody that, man, how crazy is that? And I'll guarantee I'll say that it is crazy. So, anyways, that's just what I want to talk about and just say that, boy, they really got in a tie, huh? They really got in a tie. But seriously, if there's another tie again that goes to Seahawks and Texans, I probably will go on again and just talk about that again. But like I said, unfortunately, I'm just not going to pretty much talk about most of that now. But even if it is a tie, we'll see where this goes on. I mean, we'll see where any of that goes on. But hopefully there won't be another tie. I don't know, but hopefully not. But that's just crazy. It's just wild since this is just like the first time I ever seen this. But this again is just nuts. But again, like I said, hopefully other teams could win. I guess that I've actually will say that too. That I hope other teams could win exactly that. Probably I've mentioned anyway from top 5 and 10. I've also said something like that, which hope one of those teams could do better and head to the Super Bowl. That I'll actually will give my winning money to say that who's going to win the entire thing in the Super Bowl thing. That's going to be wild again, but whatever. Just whatever, man. I just hope to say that, however, that Seahawks supposed to win next time, but they were doing pretty good. I'll admit that'll actually will give them a little bit of respect for Seahawks of doing their part exactly by completely going close, little close. And then as for Raiders, I'll actually will give them the respect too, exactly for Raiders, exactly for the Raiders, exactly. It's just yeah, they did almost. And I'll admit, they were close. And I can tell that they were that close to get there. I was really like surprised by seeing that actually happen. But I guess it's a good game, which I'll say it's good game for them. So I'll say good game for Seahawks and Raiders. That they both did pretty interesting. That I'll say that caught my eye. Exactly, that gave me a little bit close of catching my eye on. But holy God, that's crazy. But anyways, maybe next time there shouldn't be any ties if it comes down to that. But I will say is that maybe next time, hope Seahawks can just do another win. Which I know it's going to seem a little stupid for Seahawks challenging the Chiefs again, which, good God of Lord, I really don't like the Chiefs as much as I can say from the next person. Which I hope to say, please just let Seahawks beat those Chiefs. The Chiefs have just been nothing but cheaters last time. They were just cheating, like they can't be just cheating with chewing their food. Like, that probably would have been an interesting insult, but no respect or disrespect or anything. But yeah, I guess I should say Seahawks deserve another win against the Chiefs, but please, I want to see Seahawks taking them down for the only time I want them to win. So I want Seahawks to give a good one win just to take down the Chiefs again. Just one win, even though they might have to make it up for it exactly since they tied with Raiders at this point, but I just have to say, let's just hope and say that hope Seahawks can just like do something about that and just defeat the Chiefs, and that probably won't be a problem exactly. But let's just hope they probably will get another loss exactly. But let's just hope for that, at least for the best, and see. But for now, like I said again, is like always, is like and comment and subscribe to the bell to be notified. And yes, I am chilling with the Devin Vlogs, man, and hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like always, is like and comment and subscribe and hit the bell to be notified. That way, again, you guys absolutely will not miss a single video that comes onto this channel. So thank you for watching. Take care, sign out, and peace on out. Chill with the Devin Vlogs, man, yo. I'll see you guys again next time. Thank you, and sign out.